Welcome to the fifth video in Harvey Mudd College's Linux tutorial series. This video will describe how to chain commands together using pipes and how to redirect standard input, standard output, and standard error. Let's start with redirection. Every command you type on the command line has three streams of data associated with it. Standard input, or the inputs that you must give after a command starts running. Standard output, which is any outputs for the command, and standard error, which includes any error messages generated while running the command. Normally, standard input is read from the command line, and standard output and standard error are written to the command line. However, we can redirect these streams to go to different places. Take the command sort, for example, which arranges the text you type in the shell into alphabetical order. If we wanted to sort lines from standard input, we'd type sort, then enter, then a few lines of whatever text we wanted, then Control-D. Then our words are written to the terminal in sorted order. To use lines from a file as the input, instead of the text we type in, we redirect the input from the command line to a file. Use the less than character to redirect standard input, like so. Sort, less than character, and then the file name. Then sort writes the lines of the file in sorted order on the command line. So, if the command that you're running takes inputs that you type freely on the command line, you can instead read the input from a file with the less than character. Standard output and standard error can be redirected in similar ways. Let's look at ls as an example. Ordinarily, the output of ls is written to the command line. However, if we type a greater than sign followed by a file name, the output is written to that file instead of to the command line. If you use double greater than signs, the output will be appended to the end of the field of the file that you specify. You probably want to use double greater than signs when redirecting standard output to avoid accidentally overwriting an old file with the same name. To redirect standard error, use the number 2 followed by a greater than sign. Ordinarily, the standard error is written to the command line, but if we type 2 and then a greater than followed by a file name, any error messages are written to the file instead, as shown here. Now, let's say that instead of writing the output of one command to a file, you want to send it to the input of a second command. You can do this using a pipe. The pipe character is a vertical bar. It's found near the upper right corner of your keyboard. Simply type the pipe character between the two commands you wish to connect in this way. For example, perhaps we want to view the output of ls-lr using the command less. When I connect the commands in a pipe, we see that the output of ls-lr has been displayed with less as if it were a file. You can connect as many commands as you want in a pipe. For instance, we could pipe the output of the command we've just run into the command wc, which counts the lines in its input. Congratulations! You now know how to redirect the standard input, standard output, and standard error of a command on the command line. You also know how to join the output of one command to the input of another command using pipes. This concludes the fifth video in the Linux tutorial series.